that you, as usual, whenever you listen to this series of knowledge seekers from Keshe Foundation Space Institute, we welcome you back. We're going to divert a little bit in the first 5 or 10 minutes of teaching of today to bring out a very important information to all knowledge seekers that will bring everything we said to the next step, and then we go back to teaching. As you heard in the intro, the introduction of Keshe Foundation to governments and collaboration, many of you have received a gift on my birthday on Sunday, as you wish me a beautiful birthday date last week. I returned your love and your kindness with offering all you knowledge seekers. Many of you have already received an email, and many of you will receive more of in the coming days as a gift of my birthday to all of you. In this message, we ask you first to sign into the Keshe Foundation Association in Austria. That makes you eligible to receive the coin. If you haven't registered into the Keshe Foundation Austria Association, we cannot give you the coin. We have sorted, and we are sorting the situation that many of you cannot pay to become a member, to make it in a way available for those who cannot, due to like governments or place where you are and the facility doesn't exist, like in Africa and some Asian countries and some South American countries, that you don't need to pay to be registered. We are facilitating that. Hopefully should be cleared that you can register for the association. And once you register for the association, you go into the game, and then in the game you send us your, not a cash coin, not the CC coin, but KC coin, Keshe coin, your account number. Please send us the Q code. Don't send me the digit because it takes a long time to put your digits in. And we send you a gift. The first gift is, in a way, 10 coins to each one of you who goes through the process on this. But as we said, you heard in the beginning, the tape of the intro today, you have to send us which authority, which government, and what is your tax number to the government. You all were pay taxes, you have a social security, you have a tax association, somewhere you pay taxes to your government. You have to provide us with that tax number. In that process, we send a message to your government, to tax office where you pay, that on you registering for the coin, your government has become entitled to receive 100 coin, 100,000 for your registration, which means they can accept the coin and be registered by the Keshe Association. We tell them the procedure they have to follow. And if, let's say, 50 of you, 20 of you are from, let's say, England or China or whatever, your government receives literally 2 million euro in coins. This brings the acceptance in. Once they accept to receive the coins, it brings the collaboration between you and your government, and you declare your coin you received to your government. But as long as you don't spend the coin, you don't pay taxes on it. You can keep it in your wallet. And this was the purpose we sent this out. We need you to give us your tax registration and where you pay to. That we get in touch with your government, with your tax office, and say, we have such a person who is registered with us, and as part of our promise, we make available in the next 10 years 10 coins per year for this person who was registered, and they'll be receiving 30 coins a year. And the 10 coins you receive this year and the request we send to you does not count as part of the 30 coins. So this year you will receive the 30 coins in association, around maybe 2, 2.5, or 3 coins per month to cover it. We don't release all 30 coins in one go. we release to you on a systematic way. The system will be set up in the background that on a given time, randomly, we don't make you addict to wait for the first of the month to then play games the way people do with their lives. Once a month, you receive allocation that it covers you with 30 coins a year. When you spend this coin, you transfer how much you spend the coin and what you did with it, and become your income. You declare it. If they ask you to pay tax, maybe 20%, 10%, you pay back. The rest of the coin you keep. At the same time, the Keshe Foundation store, which hopefully open in the next few days, and gradually in the next few weeks, you will see campaign option on the coin. Part of the products or some of the products can be fully, or services can be fully paid with a coin into the cash coin section of the game. Keshe Foundation will open its own account on the game, and you pay to that. And then the people responsible on the system in the background check what you paid, or partially is a coin, partially is payment. And the same goes with the government. We offer services to the government that they can pay with the coins they receive from you, or on your behalf when you registered. So this week is important to us. Many of you just sent us the number of your KC account. Please send us QR code. It's easier for us to handle. It's there on the site. And secondly, provide us with the authorities and your tax number, that we can send a message to the authorities. They're entitled to 100,000 for registration in the next 10 years. And if 1,000 people register and the government receives 10,000 per person this year, is a lot of money. Gradually, as the systems and technologies become available, our services becomes available to the governments, which means they want to open a hospital, they want to use our technology, they don't need to go and find budget in their cash accounts of the government. They can pay us with our coins. And these coins will be used again in the system to, in a way, pay back to you and run the services. So collaborate with us. You register. If you have not registered with the association in Austria, we cannot release your coin. You have to tell us you have signed, and the references will be checked. You become entitled for the cash coin, and at the same time, you have to provide us your tax detail and the authorities you pay to, references and whatever. And then we start a process, collaboration between the governments, you registering, and the beginning of the cash coin become international structure in the worldwide structure of the Keshe Foundation. If we receive 1,000 members registration from you, from the invitations we sent you, then if, let's say, 50, 100 of you from the United States, we inform the United States Treasury or the states you are in that they're entitled to this 100,000 per registration over the next 10 years. So you can see how it escalates into 10 million, hundreds of millions for government, especially third world nations. We negotiate between countries. We have already started that they accept cash coin in partial payment for services or full services. Systems like water cleanup, systems like using Keshe Foundation internet system for medical application. We can do this because we have the power to do it. The technology is getting set up. This week, in the new website reopening, you will see a list of jobs which we are offering for the research centers in China. Expertise and the field of expertise we need. If you have, contact us back, and then we structure your interview, understanding you can, and moving you into Chinese Research Center to start working from 1st of January or first month of January, February of next year. We have moved into directly what we promised, and the cash coin has become the backbone of the work. please follow. Many of you have received the offer, the gift of the coin. Now you know it's 10 coins, but you need to give us feedback that we can allocate. You have to register with the association that makes you eligible to use the coin. It's an internal coin. And then we get your governments to sign into the Keshe Foundation Association the same, that they can use the allocation and claim the 100,000 per individual registered. Remember one thing. Once you sign yourself in this system, you can sign your wife, your daughters, your children, your grandchildren with their authorization into the system. And they start receiving the 30 coin, 10 coin, 20 coin, 50 coin, your parents, your grandparents. At this moment of time, it might not be able for you to value much, but in the coming time, as we connect the Keshe coin to stock market valuation of the Keshe Foundation, organizations owned in Market Corporation and in Shanghai Corporation, and in connection to production of materials, rare earth materials which you produce, it gains value. It's very much like when the Bitcoin came in, a lot of people dug it and they put it away and they forgot about it. And now that it's gained values of 50, 60, 100,000, they're all looking for it. Now you're in the same position. Claim it, store it. This year you might be able to spend 1,000 of it, next year 10,000 of it, and then gradually build up the situation. And this is for your benefit, your family benefit. So you increase, but every member of your family has to register with the Keshe Foundation Association. Your parents, for the first time, as I said, on the Keshe Foundation store opening, you get access to the Chinese website of the Keshe Foundation gradually in the next few weeks. You can buy a product directly from Chinese side. We have many knowledge seekers which produce products, and they become resellers of the Keshe Foundation. You can ask our team to connect your shop to our shop, and we arrange services that in that place, part of your products can be, in a way, paid by Keshe coin, and we back you to do it. You have companies who can benefit by the Keshe coin. Register your companies again. You work for associations. Register yourself, that we can connect your companies into Keshe coin, and you can ask your staff to register for a Keshe coin. Follow the same system. We have to have them to register at the association, that they are part of the Keshe Foundation structure. We cannot give coins to people who have not registered. And secondly, we need to know which authorities your company, your loved ones, your institute works that claims the coin, that we pay directly within a few weeks or whatever the coins to the authorities. It's their treasury, and we follow it, how they spend it, who they spend it with, and it doesn't get gobbled up because everything is transparent. I thank you for being with us, supporting us, and now we entered what we promised. Your registration with what we gifted you brings your government, your nation, as part of the Keshe Foundation, to claim, to bring the structure in, that we can move to the next step. I thank you for all your support for past years. And now we entered working as one nation, one planet, one race. Thank you very much. Going back into the structure of the teaching of the past months and weeks, we have understood that we work within the structure of our body. We receive fields, we receive energy from the space. We convert this energy into many things in our body. Some, in conjunction with the spirit of the man, changes to matter structure of the man, your muscle tissue, your limbs, your bones. But one thing is important for us to understand deeper. As we said, and as we all understood, that every human body has a central energy control. We call it the soul. We call it the soul of the man, in a way, the energy center. We always considered our brain to be the center of the control, but this is the physical control. The energy control, which connects us to the universe, comes within the center of that one, and that is our soul. In a way, our soul is the center of the planet as we see on Earth, and then the layers on top of it is magma and the surface and the rest of it. But in essence, the soul in the center is the same as the soul of a star, soul of the galaxy, the central center energy, and the rest is built on it. In the galaxies, we see more and more stars on the fringes getting created. They again go back to the center and they do the same. We see this with the operation of the Earth, with its materials, the rain going up and falling back. But in a way, it's the energy from the center which creates this motion. So it's the same with the brain of the man. The soul of the man is in the center, central energy. And the brain of the man and the body of the man in interaction with the physical condition of the Earth, it creates us, as you see when you put two magnets together, there's a field flow between each other and it's got a tail to get to the other one. That pull of the fields, the separation you see is the same as our legs now, because the other magnets is the center of the Earth and we are connected it, and as our field of our soul connects to it, it stretches down to it, creates the body of the man, how far you are from it. So we understand this principle, and now we understand that the structure of the physicality of the body of the man, as we see even on the screen, there is in the center of the brain. I can use this very nicely actually. You see your brain, your soul sits somewhere I just marked, and the soul of the planet is somewhere down here. So as it gets pulled, it creates your shape. If it wasn't there, your soul stays on its own and it has no connection and it has no interaction. So what is important for us to understand this process? And then we understand further that if you have this energy center, which interaction of its field with the field of the Earth and the inertia of the material beneath us creates the shape of the man, then this energy center, what we call the soul of the man, has, as we understood, the same structure in every cell of the man. Every cell of the man has a soul, has a center. And how it's positioned dictates what it makes the shape of. The position of the soul of the man on the top in the center of the brain, and in interaction with the inertia and the central gravitational force of the Earth pulls the fields, and in interaction with the universal energy makes the body of the man. So if you understood this, you understand every soul, every cell has a soul, and the interaction of that soul in the environment creates the shape of the kidney, creates the shape of the liver, it creates the shape of the lung of the man. And once we understand this, we come to another point, which is the most important thing all you as knowledge seekers we've been trying to achieve, to transmute. So you have to learn, if you create or connect to a field somewhere in a, what we call, somehow my screen has, okay, I'll go back to it again. If you place the, let's say, the soul of the position you want to go to on this side, then all you need to do is to transmute imbalance to that point. You change the gravitational magnetic field of the Earth to create you the long body of the man in reaction to it, to another position. If you understand this, it gives you an amazing power. How you detach yourself from connection to this earthly, what we call gravitational magnetic fields, that now it makes your soul free, it makes your central energy free and can go to any dimension. This is what we do when we die. We cut off the fields which are connected to the inertia and the gravitational magnetic field of the Earth. That's all we do. When you've done that, your body gets ready to do that separation, then the energy, what we call the soul of the man, is free. That's what death is. Our body gathers enough energy to reverse what we call anti-gravity for our soul. That's what death is. There is no other meaning to it, because then we have no connection with it. We have chosen the same word again, different words for the same thing. We are searching to create a flying machine. We are searching to build the system we call anti-gravity, to separate us from, to create a distance from us, to detach us that we can fly without connecting to the planet, without this gravitational field. This is what our body does. We fuel our reactors, we build the field that the system can interact with the field of the earth and moves away, become detached from it. This is what the life is, our cycle of life. With eating food, with killing all these animals, we're using 80% of the field of the universe is to pop up the energy that the soul can be detached, take off. We call it anti-gravity system. The soul of the man has no connection to the physicality of this earth, and you transmute. We know how to do this, and we are good at doing this with what we do with our body. We go to sleep and we create that field of separation just about. We are just the early learners practicing for 60, 70, 80 years, that when I take off what I do, but I still keep an anchor to my physicality. I've said many times, if you knew how beautiful the universe is, if you knew what freedom is given to man to transmute, all of you would have committed suicide. The reason suicide is forbidden to mankind is that the body has not matured enough to find its place in the space. It's just sending a man with one leg out to do a marathon race for a lifetime of the energy of the soul of the man. You cannot send a partially part-made finished goods for somebody to use it and expect to function. This is the same. This is why we forbid suicide. Because the soul will go in with one limb, two limbs missing. Those who are born and die, that they have reached that point during the womb of the mother, because the cycle of life doesn't start from the point you come out of the womb. It's started from the minute your soul is created within the womb. The cycle of receiving the energies of the universe to become detached from the field of the earth is already established within the womb of the mother. We cry that they had an unborn child or the child born after. It's the beauty of the life. The soul has matured, detached from this position. You suffer for 80 years, 100 years, and you pay more to be here, more to delay that separation, that takeoff which you yearn for all your life. You go and you pay to the mosque, you go and pay to the rabbi to free yourself, to elevate yourself. You become charitable that I get a better position, but you don't understand your cycle of life is connected to how you detach yourself from the dimension of physicality of the soul of this planet that makes you free to fly. You don't need to die to transmute. You do that every night you sleep. The minute the system kicks in, the energy balance between the soul of physicality and the soul of the man balances itself. The soul is value. You hold on to the field. On this side, I come back. Now we understand the process of the creation. Now we have to understand how to create that detachment, which I keep on talking about, to the field of this planet. But there is a game you can play. You cannot commit suicide and release the soul, because the soul is connected to the soul of the cells of the body of the man. You create a field that expands, and the physicality is enveloped by the field of the soul. Because when you sleep, the soul goes on one track, does not take the physicality with it because it cannot envelop it to take it with. If you can create a field that envelopes the whole of the physicality, you can travel with the speed of light through the time. Time of the field, so this is instantaneous. Now you understand more why we teach this way, why we bring the knowledge to man on the way that you understand step by step. As part of what I just explained previously with the coins, when your government gets with us, they receive a coin, they can use the coin for free education of the new knowledge to their students. Now we come into teaching how the soul of the man, through what we call the funds we made available to your government, to understand how gradually man walks away as a nation from killing and moves into the dimension of the world of the energy, magnetic fields, and everything else. If you're a nuclear physicist like me, and you have studied the structure of the atomic structure, nuclear structure, magnetic field structure, they tell you one piece of rubbish, which is fact rubbish, but they don't tell you the others which haven't understood. In the world of physics today, this is what I threw at my professors and people who talked to me when I was a early 20s and teenager, and nobody could answer me. And I explained this by showing it in the nuclear reactors, Queen Mary College, to my professor. And he said, Mehran, walk away. You know too much. We have no answer. And after 40 years, I put the same question to you knowledge seekers. And you understand how much you've been, not misguided, but never understood. The world of the creation works on the matter state. And our scientists tell us one thing. If you go to minus 273 degrees, absolute zero, everything stops. Yes, correct. But they don't tell you something. Magnetic fields carries on. You cannot freeze magnetic fields. The whole universe has places below minus 100 and 270 degrees. Now you understand where the knowledge has been misplaced. And this is where you work with the knowledge of the Keshe Foundation, cosmic ray technology, plasma technology, and you have answer for the other half. You go through all the literatures. You go through all technologies of man, which has gone up to now. You go to fields in the center of the reactors. We see now China is building a temperature of hundreds of thousands of degrees, like the center of the sun, to give you a fusion and a free energy, which is still, again, magnetic fields. The same when the scientists tell us at minus 270 degrees, nothing moves. Physically, everything stops. Yes, matter stops. Magnetic field does not. World of creation feeds you even at minus 273. World of creation still feeds you at 100,000 degrees, billions of degrees, because magnetic fields are never touched by temperature, by pressure. Life exists in the bottom of the oceans, hundreds of thousands of meters below, because those animals don't have the physical body. It's a gas body and this magnetic field and interacts with the fields of it. Does not need light, does not need pressure, does not need anything else. This is part of the world of physics which has never been explained. And this is the battle I had with the world of the science for a long time. You tell us everything stops, all motion stops at minus 273, but magnetic fields doesn't stop. Your soul does not stop working. Magnetic field, the gases are temperature independent. They work without interaction of the fields. It does not matter in the energy field and not in the matter rays state of manifestation. Now you understand where we are going for and what we are trying to explain to you. Your soul can take place, its place on separation from the soul of the man, or you decide, I want to go and see what's in the center of the earth through your soul, because it has temperature, doesn't affect it. You can go into the deepest oceans and the highest, deepest pressures and the most frozen places in the universe. Your soul still exists, because physicality has a dimension of the restriction of its inertia, its field matter state. Once you become educated how to expand your soul and embed your body within it, you can take your physicality for a tour of the center of the earth, because the eyes shall see, as is the soul transparent from inside. And then I've been there, I went into the ocean, I went into the center of the earth. Of course, it means you have managed to embed the soul of physicality inside, with the physicality inside the soul of the man. Now you understand why we are taking you this way, why every week, step by step, we're peeling the knowledge of the man to get to the center, to his creator, to understand the ethos of Mitra. Every diversion, talk good, think good, act good, diverts you from that position. If you go back to the history of Iran, the biggest crime ever, today they hang people for killing. The biggest crime in the culture of Iran has been lying. Bigger crime than killing. Till the Muslims got their way into Iran and they made the killing as a way of living. Because when you lie, you create a field that diverts. It's just little pushing your soul away from the direction to reach the creator, position to the creator. It's that little jet fires to divert your aircraft or your soul in its path to its creator. Now you understand. To lie, you need to create a field, and that field interacts with the soul, and the soul has to move away from it, the physicality and everything else. Now you see how things are connected to each other. If and once we understand these nitty-gritties, these questions which is burning in the knowledge of the man for centuries, then you understand how we can answer it now that we are opening the knowledge of the creation. Next time somebody tells you everything stops at minus 273, you say, no, it doesn't. Matter state does, but the fields exist, and my soul is that field, has no matter state. Then you understand man can reach anywhere in the universe through the dimension of his soul. Transmutation is not a dream. Transmutation is a reality that you do every night, and then you deny it because you never understood it. Now you understand it. Try to see if you can move the physicality. You have to be detached from the fields of this planet, that you can embed the fields of the motion and emotion of the physicality inside it. Then you find Magra positioning of the soul in respect to the soul of the planet, while the body is embedded within it. Today's teaching is so in depth, it brings and it has brought you new knowledge. Understand how to use it and bring it in conjunction with the rest of what we have taught you in the past, and see how quickly you as knowledge seekers will pass the understanding of the present science, and you become the true travelers. And then the most interesting thing is, as we go back to what has been said in respect to the knowledge of the man, You'll find out you can travel the moon, the Mars, the other galaxies instantaneously, and you don't need to do as it was in the Star Wars, what, 9 and 6 and whatever else, to go and cross the universe in 1,000,000 years, in 1 year, and the rest of it. You can reach the corners of the universe. You can reach the heart of the Creator in seconds that you cannot even can count, millionths of a second. Man puts restriction on the speed because, again, he has expanded his knowledge a little bit. He can accept that much, but he cannot go further. Up to recently, planet Earth and universe was 4.5 billion. In the teaching, I explained this impossibility. And now we see in the past year or two, science, listens to the Keshe Foundation, has changed the direction. Now the universe is 13 billion. The universe is much, 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 much older than 13 billion. Then you understand you can carry the soul of the Creator and be as young as him, because there's no time. Time doesn't exist. It's only man who's got busy with the rotation of this planet and the age of it, which has created for himself. The soul is always as young as the day he was born. And it has the same systems as you have in your body. You have a kidney, you have a liver, you store energy, you take energy, you clear energy. The soul has the same system. It has a system which gathers the liquid, gathers the surplus energy. It has a system which creates as a storage and the rest. When you want to see the function of your soul, how it is, it's not just a ball of energy. Look at the solar system. It has a center. It has planets which capture the outer boundary things. We call it Jupiter and Saturn. And then we have the Earth, and which confirms the existence. So you see your soul. And they all work together, and they all function in some one way or another to create their position. Even your soul, being a ball of energy, has the same system functionality, but in energy level, that in a matter state. It has kidney, it clears materials, doesn't need. It takes energy from outside. Our solar system doesn't get all its energy from the center. Where do you think all these materials come in? All the energy is coming from the galaxies and from the universe into us. It just goes, touches everything else except our system? No. The same as you and me take 80% of our energy from our environment. It's the same thing with our solar system. It takes, regurgitates its own material, planets, meteorites and the rest, but it takes energy from outside because they dictate how they go. If one day mankind sits outside and look at the planet Earth magnetic field and look at the magnetic field of our solar system, you see it's like a wobbly jelly. It's not the way they tell you, because depends which star, which galaxy our planet and our galaxy is interacting with, and we get woofed. The way the gravitational magnetic field of the Earth drags the energy of the soul of the man and creates the physicality of the man, the same thing happens to our solar system. The same thing happens to our Earth. There is no exception. If the soul of the man created the physicality of the man by interacting its fields with the field of inertia of the planet Earth, the same shape exists between our solar system and the central field of the galaxy. Are we part of the cell of the kidney of the solar system or this galaxy? That's why we see, they tell us there are a cluster of stars which behave that way. That cluster is a kidney. That cluster is a heart of the system. That cluster is one of the cells of the kidney, because it has to be there because it absorbs energies, or vitamin C, which is, or calcium, which is too much in the blood of the universe. There is no difference in knowledge. It's only man who has made restriction in understanding the totality of the creation. I made man in the image of myself. If man has a kidney, if man has a system to filter out what is being used, if the man needs a heartbeat that it can circulate the field of the what we call energy of the universe around, if the man needs a digestion system, if the man needs a lung to breathe in the environment exist, so the same functionalities within the soul of the man, the same functionalities within the structure of the creator of the man. Now you understand. You have to take this shackle of restriction because they tell you, and look beyond, and then you will see what we see as teachers. You become the teacher of your own soul. You become the teacher of your own understanding of the world of the creation. We are not here to make profit out of ourselves to become messengers. And we are not here to make profit to live in the luxuries of the world of the universe. I made man in the image of myself. What is within me is within what I have created. Intelligence, justice, love. And that's what is the essence of me as the creator. Now you understood more today about yourself and what and how you attach yourself to this planet and how you're connected to the field of the universe. Try to understand how you can bring a balance and justice between your soul and your soul of physicality and your physicality. You'll travel the span of universe in time that no man needs a walk 10, 20 or billions of years. Instantaneously, you reach the heart of the creator. We go for a break and we come back. And we try to understand more about our own world of creation in the future and as time comes. Rick, would you take us for a break and we come back?
Certainly. Thank you, Mr. Kesh. All right. As mentioned, we will have a break and we'll have a review and summary of the last knowledge, 653rd Knowledge Seekers Workshop, and through the AI version. And after that, we'll have an opportunity to ask questions of Mr. Kesh, either verbally in the Zoom. You can raise your virtual hand and we can allow your microphone to open, or you can post questions in the Zoom chat or the Zoom Q&A, or in the YouTube chat. Okay, this video is called Universal Blueprint. And it's from the last Knowledge Seekers Workshop.
Welcome back to The Explainer, everyone. Today we're diving into a highly unusual, honestly profound framework derived from the KSW's 653 teachings. We're not just looking at standard biology today. We're exploring a structural blueprint for humanity's proposed transition from our purely physical, earthbound existence into what the text calls the universal community. It's a massive shift from the tangible to the metaphysical. So this brings up a pretty core question right off the bat. What do we actually carry with us into space? The source material really challenges our usual assumptions here. It asks us to look way beyond the idea of just zipping ourselves up into a physical spacesuit, or what the text playfully calls a monkey suit. When we finally transcend Earth's atmosphere and its limitations, do we even need the physical forms we rely on right now? Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our roadmap for the tour today. 1. The universal community. 2. Hearing the universal noise. 3. Elements of manifestation. 4. Your universal credit limit. And finally, 5. The star formation pyramid. All right, kicking things off with Section 1, the universal community, a new phase for humanity. In this new phase, you can pretty much toss out those traditional medical textbooks. The focus shifts entirely away from physical anatomy, and instead we look directly at the mechanics of the soul out in space. Bypassing the physical is the absolute primary goal here. The teaching tells us that to actually become a true member of this universal community, we have to let go of Earth's gravitational and physical limits. So rather than seeing ourselves as just bodies made of bones and skin, the text says we become dynamic energy. We manifest as light, fueled by emotion. You literally become a plasmatic field where your existence is driven by energy, not matter. Now, to understand how that energy functions, the text uses a really great analogy. Think about how our physical ears hear birds chirping or traffic outside. Well, there's another totally invisible cosmic frequency out there. And it's the ear of the soul that tunes into this continuous broadcast. It's an absolutely vital frequency that our soul actually relies on to survive. Which leads us perfectly into Section 2, hearing the universal noise. Now this is wild. The text notes that our own scientists have actually recorded a continuous background noise in the deepest parts of the universe. The source defines this universal noise as a continuous hussing and hissing cosmic frequency. It acts exactly like a dog whistle, completely inaudible to our human ears, but perfectly loud and clear to the soul. In fact, if you were to somehow put a human being into a cosmic Faraday box, an enclosure that completely cuts off this specific noise, the text claims the soul would instantly cease to function. It really is that vital to our survival. We're all super familiar with our physical heartbeat, right? We think of it as the ultimate sign of life. But the text contrasts this with that vital universal whistle we just talked about. It turns out our human cells, specifically components like melanin in our skin and myelin in our nervous system, actually act as cosmic transfer mechanisms. They respond directly to this whistle, pulling that universal energy right into the human body. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is what happens when things get out of sync. When our physical body's response doesn't match up with that cosmic frequency, it creates profound disharmony. The source describes this mismatch as actually solidifying into crystal salt within the body. And that manifests as disease, things like skin problems or lung issues. It's literally a physical crystallization of a frequency mismatch. Moving right along, let's look at Section 3, Elements of Manifestation. So, if our health and existence depend on these frequencies, how exactly do we take shape? Well, think of it like a corporate blueprint. According to the text, 4 specific elements have to synchronize. First, you've got Earth's noise and vibration, its gravitational magnetic field. Second, the physical noise and vibration of our own beating heart. Third, the universal noise and energy fields. And fourth, the inertia of emotion. When these 4 elements come together and find resonance, they dictate absolutely everything about you, from the shape of a single kidney cell to your bone structure, right down to your emotional behaviors. But here's where the whole paradigm just totally shifts. In space, bone structures are obsolete. Think about it. Does a worm or a jellyfish need bones while floating in the ocean? No, because their environment doesn't require it. The same logic applies if you take a human out of Earth's gravitational field and put them deep in space. The elements of manifestation change. So clinging to a rigid bone structure out in the universe is simply a lack of understanding of cosmic physics. Instead of bones, we transmute based on our emotional inertia. The source shares this fascinating anecdote about a woman in Linz who dreamed she was half fish, half human. The text explains this isn't just random dream imagery. Her condition of emotion still wanted a connection to humanity, but physically she desired to be a fish. It perfectly illustrates the core principle here. When you travel as a plasmic field in space, you don't have fingers or toes. You transmute into dynamic light, and your physical shape is dictated entirely by your emotional inertia interacting with your environment. All right, let's move to section 4, your universal credit limit. So the crucial point is where you get to travel as that dynamic light isn't just a free-for-all. The teachings introduce this deeply ethical responsibility framework, structured almost like a corporate hierarchy. The source impartially explains that our actions here on Earth literally dictate our clearance level in the universal structure. If a soul has spent its physical life killing, destroying, and making a mess, they're granted the credit level of a toilet cleaner, only allowed access to the lowest drains of the universe to clean up the mess. If a person lived a life of service to humanity, they might gain access as a professor, allowed onto specific research floors. But those who reach a true understanding of creation, they become like the head of research, full access, with absolutely nothing hidden from them. This whole concept is perfectly summed up by this quote from the teachings. The biggest banker in the universe with a credit card is the Creator, and your limit is dictated by you. It's pretty sobering, isn't it? The Creator isn't sitting there judging you or holding you back out of malice. The Creator simply issues the card. Your own earthly actions, your own ethical conduct, strictly set your cosmic spending limit. And this naturally leads into the concept of the peaceful passenger of the universe. The source makes a really distinct observation here. It impartially reports that these universal passengers, what humanity sometimes calls UFOs, have access to various cosmic laboratories, specifically because they don't do the killing. The text explains they don't interfere with man because humanity is frankly still stuck in a cycle of destruction. The source even points out the irony of earthly politics, noting how leaders will sometimes cause immense destruction and fight just to win peace prizes. Because of this persistent violent inertia, mankind is basically left alone by these higher access passengers. Finally, we arrive at section 5, the star formation pyramid. And this brilliantly illustrates how we can actually restructure ourselves to raise that credit limit. The source gives us a geometric model to help us map out this metaphysical architecture. Imagine a structured pyramid. Step 1, at the very apex, you have the universal fields and cosmic noise. Step 2, down at the base, you have the earth and what's called the soul of physicality, our physical spirit. And step 3, sitting right on the side, is the soul of man, which is the part directly connected to the Creator. It's a complete corporate surreal blueprint of our very existence. The real challenge here is balancing the ship. The text points out that for all of human history, mankind is basically hyper-focused on strengthening that base, the earth and our physical spirit. And by doing that, we've completely locked ourselves down, weighing the ship down at the bottom. The goal, according to the teaching, is to detach from that physical base. When we let go of those physical ties, the entire pyramid naturally balances out and points us directly toward the Creator. So how do we actually do that? It comes down to practically managing what the text calls the control panel of emotion. By mastering our breathing, we can actually control the inertia of our blood, which in turn controls the emotional fields we absorb from the universe. The text suggests that if you master this, you master the world of creation. You don't need a crown of kingship or any sort of physical dominance, because you can navigate the entire cosmos simply through the mastery of your own internal energy. Which leaves us with this final provocative thought. As we get ready to transition away from our physical constraints and step into the universal community, what is your universal credit limit? Based on the inertia you are creating right now, today, which floors of the cosmos will you be allowed to access tomorrow? It's absolutely something profound to reflect on. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I hope it sparked your curiosity, and I encourage you to keep exploring these concepts.
Okay, we're back again at the 654th Knowledge Seekers Workshop here on Thursday, August 6th, 2026. And because it's the second part, as mentioned, there will be an opportunity to ask questions of Mr. Kesh. But first, he always has something to say. So please go ahead, Mr. Kesh.
Doesn't he always has something to say? You're correct. Thank you very much. As I said, we try to bring this more and more. We showed you in the other videos of the Cash Foundation regarding the cash coin, what benefit it has to you when you have a new child, what you can have when you have teenagers, and what you get when you start the cycle of life. And as I said to other knowledge seekers, we respect our elderly, and we have given them the maximum coin, which means the time they serve the world. It's time to enjoy the world. According to the insurance companies, 60% of the people die, people who worked all their life, within 6 to 8 years from the time they retire. Because the worries of where the money comes from. What can I do? I used to have 2,000, now I have to live with 800. Half of the brain locked into poverty and survival. Now we give those a chance to enjoy. And this joy, as they get their pensions, connects to the government that it can support. And this is where the change comes in. This is where, from this week on, I gave a gift to humanity. You will understand how powerful the cash coins will come in coming weeks and months. As governments come claim their free money, what they can do with, and we trace them how they serve you. They will ask us for services. They will ask us for technologies to be invested. They pay with the coins for us to be there. We'll be there. We serve through what we give, and then you understand how the change will come. It's now, again, as we say, the ball is in your court. You have to bring your government into play. Last time when we gave patents to the government, you shot and howled, and a big percentage of knowledge seekers walked away. Here's another one. Now this time it's you who are going to bring your governments in. We give 10,000 of you for bringing 100 governments to come, and by the law of the greed of the nations and governments claim hundreds of millions. We have enough to support humanity for centuries to come. It's been set up that way. And we have a structure that, as I said to a guy, you can give them the code to your soul to spend the money in other planets and other universes. Still get paid meager way by the energy and not by killing and what we call the fashion goods. A lot of your knowledge seekers have been trying to go to the store and the Keshe Foundation website for the past few weeks. The whole thing has gone, you won't see much difference on the website, especially because it's gone through a security checkup, changing and tightening the whole system. We had to do it. As all of us know, AI has become too clever and people use it for different kind of entering into websites and people email. So we had to close down, upgrade, secure that these little AI boys cannot play IA with us. And the same has gone with the shop. The store has been totally lifted to Shopify, and you can pay with credit cards, you can pay with everything else, and everything is recategorized. A lot of things have been moved to a different position. You need to re-register to be able to use in the system. And the whole structure has changed. All your donations goes directly to one place. You have to talk to us if you make a big donation, how we arrange it. And for small donations, you go and pay into the association, because that's where the fund at the moment. Donations can go. We separated in a deep way very soon, that we have the funds to be able to do. If you want to donate coin to the foundation, you go to the Keshe Foundation coin and make it foundation gift to the foundation, the Keshe coin, and we use it to give and provide other facilities for the whole structure. Please work with us hand in hand, as you've done for years, to bring your governments into play. I did not explain fully to you before. Now you understand how we're using the Keshe coin to bring your governments as your companies to join KF, and all the staff can benefit by it by registering and getting access to, and gradually getting companies to use partial payment of the coin, and the coin in exchange for payment of the goods and products. How we succeed from now on is in the hand of your knowledge seekers. How you introduce your corner shopkeeper, your children, your schools, and universities and governments into accepting a free gift. No man has ever refused a free gift. And then always tell them it's like Bitcoin. In the future, it has value up to 1,000. It doesn't fluctuate. Secure, stable coins are the future of humanity. It doesn't matter where you are, 1,000 is 1,000. And you don't need to be rich to worry if it comes 10,000 tomorrow, I'm going to lose, or 50, I'm going to gain. Either way. So, understand our work, and as we say, it's your turn. We've done our job. Our team is still settling things up, and it takes time. We have 3-4 different groups working different parts of the Keshe Foundation websites, the coin, and everything else of the Keshe Foundation, and the team of IT is growing step by step. More and more people trying to cover all aspects of the foundation work. And we are just at infield CV testing. And we need your support. You sign for the coin, you send us your QR code, you sign to association, then you thought, ooh, I receive a gift. This gift has an attachment to it. It's your job to give this gift to the others, your family, your nation, and even the shopkeeper around the corner. When many people go in and he says to his customers, if you get a coin, it's free, you don't know it's going to be 10,000, you will see how many shoppers will add to it. The biggest problem for us is to meet the traffic, and that's why we are doing it in a step at a time. Some of your knowledge seekers have received the gift since Sunday, and some of you will receive it. It's not that we don't love you more and we made a separation, it's just that our system needs to be tested. And the next lot and the next lot will be receiving the gifts. And those of you who receive the gift of 10 coins, you still are entitled from 1st of January of 2027 to your 30 coins. We don't give you all 30 in one go. We decide, but we cover the 30 over a month, that people don't become addicted and stay there. Some months you might not receive any. You say, oh, it'll come up to the end of the year, I'll get it. Don't count on this Keshe Foundation. We look after you, that you don't become addicted to it. This comes out of experience, not just trying to be nasty. And I explain to you why, how it comes. When I was a young boy, when I went to university, in the first months of my university, Iran went through a revolution. We were not sure what will be tomorrow. As usual, being me the being is, I had to secure the future of me and my siblings, that if anything happens to Iran, we are stable. I went at that time, safest thing was to go into the investment property. And I bought buildings in Manchester, trying to guarantee the income supports their family if the revolution goes belly up again and we get no money, as it happened at the beginning of the revolution. And I sold this property after a few months with a very good profit. But after a year, it came back in the market. I went to see it, I thought, oh, I can buy it cheap back in. And I went in, the door was open. I went to the building, it had a number of apartments. And I saw on the top floor a guy sitting with a bunch of other people's social books. That time the government gave you money monthly and you had a book you had to go to claim it from the post office. And I said to the guy, what are you doing here, sitting here with all these books? He said to me, it's none of your business. I said, listen, I explained to him who I am and I said what I can do with it. He said, this is the money I give drugs to people, and they leave the books and I cash to pay for my drugs. And that became something that stayed with me. Structure should not be that people rely on and then abuse it. This is a lot of wealth. And it takes people to understand, but they have to become independent and not to give it to get into all sorts of problems. And for this reason, we don't create a pattern that people rely on it. The youngsters say, I don't need to work because I get the coin from the Keshe Foundation and the rest of it. We give, but we know how we're giving and we're collecting and we see how the pattern is to make sure our coins, our technology is not used for abuse, drug trafficking and drugs and everything else which has become fashionable on this planet. Gradually, as part of the structure of the Keshe Foundation, in the coming months and years, anybody who wants to receive the coin has to go through a system, a structure which we set up as part of your family insurance, which many of you participated in, to guarantee you pay monthly, annually, and you get your cover. We cover you in a different way. So these people have to go through all sorts of things that gradually it costs them nothing, but in a way it's like the game. You have to play the game we set up for you to get. And this part of games is to make sure you're not addicted, you don't do things, and it creates a life. You participate in the development of the humanity, and not just, oh, I get the money, I stay in bed. Don't forget, you have to tell us what you listen to, the teaching. And then through those process of teaching, we know how the way many of you paid us money to come in the Friday sessions, how to change the structure that everybody becomes a positive thinking, working person in the society of man, and walks away from many other devious things we've seen happening. In a way, you cannot sell your coins to the guy to give you a joint for one shot. You'll understand very soon how we do it. As our team gets better in structuring it, we build these things together. That no coin can be used for trafficking. If we see the diversion of the flow of the coins in certain direction, we start building a straightaway blockage in it. Because we can smell it. We can see we have a huge amount of experience to follow these patterns. I work with the narcotic division of the British government for years, and I know quite a bit how to handle these things and don't allow the Keshe Foundation coin to be used for these kind of activities. Then you see the others. You can smell it, and you can see it, and you can follow it, and every protection will be put in. that we don't create a lazy generation. We don't create people just there, I get it, what should I do with it? And they give it to me. Step by step, we don't create a world of more useless people. We create a people who can become useful in the running of the humanity for space development and connection with the universal community. I hope we can collectively now move this. From now on, it's in your hand. You receive your coins. You have to tell us where you pay your taxes and which authority, and what's your tax number that, first of all, stays in our file. Secondly, we send a message that from today you are entitled, and the videos you've seen will be given to your communities, your tax people. Would you like to deny 100,000 coins? Today might not worth much. In the future, it's 100,000 in the next 2 years, 5 years. And you'll see governments come to register because they want these hundreds of thousands of coins which you have received. And we tell them, you received 10 coins, you can go and tax them if they spend it. And you'll see how it comes. Because the percentage doesn't change, the value will stay steady, and then we'll see stability in the nations. Any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Kesh. One of the questions that is popping up is, where is the QR code that you speak of?
You go to the game, you have to register in the game. On the left-hand side, you have 2 circles. The very far circle on the top is the KC coin, because is what you call a digital coin. All of you have a number. You see it, you send me the numbers, but near to it or around that area, you see a QR code. Send us that QR code. Because systems transfer from one system to another, and it becomes very hard to type your things and transfer it into another. It's very difficult. And initially we do this for the first few hundreds, but the rest is automatic screening. It's in your system. You have to look for it, find it. You have one number for receiving and one number for sending. And that's your number that you receive funds and where you send the funds. And that's all it needs to be.
I don't see a QR code anywhere in the game.
It should be. Some people have sent it to us. I've seen a few QR codes has been sent back. I'll ask the people responsible to make it prominent so that you can see it. Then it should be easy to access. As I said, there's a lot of teething going on. This is why we try to do the large number, but a small amount of knowledge seekers. And then it goes to the next step. These are the things that's why we find out where the problems are, what is the teething, and this is one of them. I'm sure our team in the background are listening to it, and somehow they'll make it easier for you to see the QR code by next few days.
Okay, thank you. I had a question. When we register for our family members, can we use the same email for all?
Your family members, they have to register themselves if they are adults.
Under a different email address.
Everybody has to have his own email address, yeah. Not one person can claim for everyone. Doesn't happen. So it has to be set up and it has to be checked. We put more and more security and checking into this as the time comes. You know, millions have voted in the American voting system, which died 300 years ago, and they're still voting. These things we block. These things gradually will be checked, cross-checked with your government. Everything has to read. It's not going to be easy, and the second it's going to take time, months to get this sorted properly. Something I just seen somebody found. It says the QR code has been added in a version B, blah, blah, which will be distributed within the next hour. So there we are. Your QR code is there.
There you go. That's fast service.
This is Keshe Foundation. We are slow in some things, but we are as fast as a flag in others. As we said, this is from the horse's mouth, so it's exactly what it is. You have to make sure you inform your authorities when you send us that they are ready to receive the coin. You call your tax office, say this is our become, and they give a gift. You have to register to receive the gift, and it's like a Bitcoin. You have a value of 1,000, but you have to do it now. I've registered. I want you to register that I can pay my taxes for it. We should have at least 100 countries in the next few months registering, especially if you're from African nations. The point is that we couldn't do this now. A number of ONNs have been sent, and knowledge seekers have connected it to the, what we call our circuit. This is why now we can do this. By end of the month, there'll be about 30 units operating around the world. Some around 10 or 12, 15 now is already connected. So when we give you the coin, you become part of the network. By the end of the month, it'll be around about 30. And then, as we just now, we saw the problem with QR code, it had to be sorted. There's a lot of little things we need to adjust and correct. Somewhere in October, September, October, 100 units will be released, and the 100 units will be released, and the 100 units will be released. That our system, we can bring people to manage the whole system, we can monitor, and everything else. Don't forget, very simple. You do not receive your 10 coins and your monthly or annual payments from me. You receive it from Keshe Foundation account in the game. So you deal with the foundation, not with me. And this is very crucial for you to understand. The association has got nothing to do with owning the coin, and the Keshe Foundation sets up the coins, which is under our control, into the portal of the Keshe Foundation in the game. Keshe Foundation gets registered with the association that allows us to make it available to the member of the associations. And this is very important that you all understand. You do not receive your coins from me. You receive your coins in the portal, what you call is your point interaction with association. And every year you have to renew your association. If your association membership is not renewed, your coin will not come up. And then there's performances we watch. We do a lot of things. And I just had a reminder on the line, says that 26 end of the month in the hand of people. But the others, which makes about 35, something between 30, 35, is within the worldwide operation of the Keshe Foundation. Control systems, control panels, and the rest of it. We can do this, and we reach hopefully to 1,000 by the end of the year. Everything is done, and a lot of work is going in the background with the different teams of the Keshe Foundation to make sure things are done. And we have beautiful knowledge groups from all over the world working to see this is correct and this gets done, and different aspects of it is met. Any other question?
Okay, thank you. We have a comment from Pamela from the Brazilian community, who says, "Good morning, Mr. Keshe. I'd like to share a comment about my experience trying to piece together the information you've shared with us in the last teachings. Regarding the tongue and breathing, when I inhale and hold my breath, I realize that instead of just closing off my throat to prevent the air from passing through, I can make a movement as if drawing the air into my soul I don't know how to explain it, perhaps as if I were swallowing the air upward. This movement makes me smile, and I realized it brings joy. Another thing I've been doing is trying to coordinate my vision with my breathing and the sound moving through my body. At first, the sound only reached certain parts, but the other day I felt the vibration throughout my whole body, and a physical issue I'd been having stopped immediately when I managed to direct the sound there. Well, that's it. I just wanted to share these experiences. Thank you so much for everything.
You're welcome. You have to learn, because this is part of the life of man. There used to be a band called Earth, Wind and Fire, if you remember, in the 70s. And all three has to work in sequence and in what they call synchronized. And if you treat the body like that earth is your body, wind is the air you breathe, and fire is your soul, you can do anything. But you have to understand how to match that fire, how to ignite it, and how you create that condition to be there. When you talk about your tongue, you have to understand how to position and what pressure you put on, and then what it is for. The pressure you put with your tongue into the roof of your mouth behind your sinuses is not just one thing. It's literally, it's like the way you shout and you whisper and you talk loud with air. The pressure you put with your tongue into the roof of your mouth has a direct effect how it all is created, for what part and where you call it in for. It'll take you centuries to learn this properly. And you see the step by step, step by step. Any other question? A lot of people sending me message, Mr. Kesh, can you confirm, is there straight up breathing? I can't answer you this. You have to go and learn it yourself. We're not here teaching measurements. You have to understand the concept and see what applies to where and to what. And if you don't answer, oh, has we done a big crime? Mr. Kesh doesn't want to know. This is, we give you the principle. The homework is with you. How do you work it?
Okay, we have a comment in YouTube from MVLKN. There is big news that in Japan, the medical med beds has already been released in public hospitals. So they ask, what's happening with the universal body enhancement units?
They release a bed, we release a head unit. They are about half a century behind us.
You've gone from bed to head.
We're going to bed to head. They're still trying to fix the physicality where we work with the soul and we do it. I think the first most advanced version should be gone out last Friday before our company goes into summer holidays, or will go out immediately after the holidays. Medbed is what we thought, and a lot of people try to do it, but when you deal with the boss, why do you want to work with the servant? We are far ahead. Medbed is moved from that. Actually, those two units, which became what we call the Abysos, are on the way. I think they arrive in next few days to become part of the exhibition hall in China. They're on the rail track back to where they came. to be exhibited in the Keshe Foundation Research and Space Research Center in China, because they're obsolete, and the new cycle will come in, and you will see it very, very soon. A lot of knowledge to go with it. Oh, you see, our people is not just there. It says the obesos arrived in railway port yesterday in China.
Mm.
We have moved a lot of the material back to China for the new space center, which is getting opened up at the moment. Then you will see the obesos, and then you see the new obesos. Medbed is finished, the decades behind. If you understood how the teaching of past, especially even what we spoke a few minutes ago, with the breathing and using of the new obeso systems, then you can see how fast you can change the condition. Gradually we teach, gradually we bring this into open. Medbed is obsolete, is gone. Let them play with toys of last century, as I call it.
Okay, we have a question from Paulo. He says, respected Professor Keshe, this is a follow-up to his previous question regarding the arts. So he's reframing the question as, is it precisely because scientific researchers face an academic blockade regarding references to plasma in their work that the Keshe Foundation needs to join forces with avant-garde cultural and artistic movements to promote this new school of thought?
If you listen to what we discussed in the past half an hour, the way we have it structured and your knowledge seekers do, we don't need to do these things. We are using a different way to bring the knowledge across the governments. Gradually you understand, we took a shortcut, maybe about 100 years in what we just even gave you as a gift last Sunday. We don't, when we proposed the Keshe coin in 2017, and many of you worked with it, bought it, kept it, spent it. Everything sound something a secure, fixed coin. Look what President Trump did a few days ago, a couple of weeks ago. He's introduced fixed price coins, cryptocurrency, as the cornerstone of his presidency's office. They listen to us. The people who sit there and watch what's coming and what's about to do. And now it's become what you knowledge seekers received or receiving this week and the following weeks has become the policy of the supposedly the strongest nation in the world. He just signed the presidential decree to become. The difference is by the time they catch up, Keshe Foundation is already across the planet with one nation of planet. Their coin, fixed value, is for a nation to again dominate. But they don't know their policy is already obsolete in compared to what has been released by Keshe Foundation. We are years ahead of MedBed or governmental policy. Just go and see what President Trump has signed, fixed coin, cryptocurrency that they can again control. But there is for their own nation and they say control. Keshe Foundation is for everybody across the planet. Their work never takes up.
I believe Trump is also doing $1,000 fund for each newborn child. and that's supposed to be not accessible until they turn 18 and then used for their education.
How do you feed the child? How do you educate the child? This is all pension promises that they will not be there when it comes.
Yes, likely.
Yeah, there is not there.
They'll raid the fund before the...
What I would like to do, especially with knowledge seekers in Africa, go to your governments, go to people, and get it signed. We saw this problem coming up, especially one of our beautiful knowledge seekers in Egypt brought it right into my face last week. I cannot pay from Cairo. And I went to our team and said, I want it free. It's not in our structure. Find a way. We found a way, apparently, from what I saw last night coming in our system, that if you have the funds and you can pay $1 or $10 or $100 to register. Now it's depending on yourself, on your own truth about yourself. If you don't, you take the option I can't pay, or an option I can pay in the future, and sign yourself in to become a member of the foundation association, and then go into the game and play the game and and our team has reduced the pricing. I think, if I'm correct, you most probably see something coming up very quickly answering us. In the past, you were getting 1/10 of a 1 million, God knows, of a coin. Now it's been brought up to 1,000, I think, which means you can reach the coin $1 per or 2 coins per month very rapidly. And your coin you can keep in the cash coin or move it to cash coin, and 10% which we pay into your government. The minute you want to exchange, we have to have authorization from your government that you're exchanging. You're working into the real world of expenditure, not in a fancy world of the game. Let's see what we can do. You should be able, through the Cash Foundation China, in the next few months, reach the latest developments in wellness and medicine, which is registered by Chinese with Chinese authorities, as our factories come into line. And you can directly order and get the materials in anywhere, or travel to China and receive the materials which you need, you see on the website of China, but we cannot get export for it. We will not attempt to spend billions getting FDA and CE certificate. We have a Chinese certificate. 1/5 of the world population obeys. We obey the rule for them. It's your problem. Move to China, get it, and come back. Nobody can stop you. And we will introduce in the next 12 months fundamental, deep, some maybe 100, 150 medicines or medical application system certified by the Chinese system in China, from all sorts of companies registered. And there's a plan that you will receive. We set up the cosmetic section of the Cash Foundation in China. The same, you can order it. We don't carry certificate. Chinese certificate is as good as FDA, which doesn't take bribe. It's very correct, it's very detailed, it's very just, and we don't get the briberies and billions of dollars to be paid to get the certificate. China allows its citizens to benefit by the latest technology, and the rest of humanity can use it. You can't import Chinese certificate goods. We don't pay the briberies of FDA. You come in, take a flight. Most of the about 50, 16 nations, 17 nations now have a free visa travel into China. Come in, buy the bottle of what you need for whatever condition from the shelves of the Cash Foundation's medicine in the pharmacies and in the hospitals, and go back. We create a lot of tourism for Chinese government through Keshe Foundation Technologies. We will not, under no circumstances, certify any of our goods for European or American market certification. Chinese certification is used by 1.4 billion and it works. Why should we listen to the briberies of others? You want our latest system getting developed, sold in China, carries a certification of Chinese authorities, is good enough for us. We don't waste time, capital in attaining FDA, which you have to pay bribes, millions to get it. We've seen it with Corona, and we saw it with Dr. Fauci in the Senate in the past few weeks. It's nothing but bribery, lies, and cheats, and it doesn't work that way. Chinese system says the technology is good for 1.4 billion to be used. That's how it's going to be. You're American, you need the FDA. Tough luck. You can take a flight cheaper than paying FDA. Come to China, take them in whatever the medicine which is equivalent to the Chinese regulation back home. We will not, under no circumstances, apply for CE certificate or FDA certification for any of our medications or medical equipment which is produced in China. We get a Chinese certification as good as. You have to understand, if you fly now to China, you cannot carry a power bank with you anymore as of very recent days. You need to carry a CCC, Chinese power bank. If they get you on the airport, they destroy it, they take it off, you can't get on board. Because many CE certificate, American certification has caught fire and caused problems. The Chinese system is much safer, much more accurate, and we follow that. So if your travel is to China, and you especially want to do internal flights, make sure your power bank carries a CCC certificate, which is safer, hundreds of times safer than the European certification and what you call American certification. Now we follow the same Chinese system for medicine, Chinese system for everything else is times better than the European American system. We will not apply, we won't waste our time and money to get the European certification. You want our goods, fly to China and get it. Next.
Okay, we have a couple of questions from Elizabeth, who says, first of all, thank you for all your work and love. First question, the governments, do they need to sign the peace treaty before receiving the...
Prerequisite. You see it there is on the should be, if it's not optimal listening. You cannot finish signing unless you have signed the peace treaty. I think it's already been done, but just in case our team listening in the background, they have to modify that is there. You'll not be registered till you have signed the peace treaty. And you see the government's going back to the parliaments. We want this 100 million coins. Can you sign the peace treaty? We stop the war. Yeah, there's a lot of things which you ignite.
Okay.
If you are a member of armed forces, do not apply for Keshe Foundation coin. If you are a member or work through illegal activities, you're a drug trafficker, and then you're a very good want to get a 10,000, do not claim. This coin has a soul, and you pay for it. You will understand very soon. This is not an ordinary gift. This is a gift to the soul of humanity, and you'll pay for it faster than you can think. And I tell you, it's so harsh, you wish you never done it.
Can you explain more about the process to create the associations to all the nations is what Lisbeth is.
We have made a charter which applies the Austrian law, and we can provide you, but you have to play with it to apply to your nation. This is very, very strict. The associations or foundations now have become a criminal thing to be a foundation. Now they change it to association. Till latest associations are criminal things because they can't do things they want to do with it. But each association has its own in each country process. And when you set it up, the tradition has been that the Keshe Foundation or a member of the Keshe Foundation stays at the head. And we've seen something, I was discussing with knowledge seekers yesterday. Some people come to the foundation, some people come around, and then they get noted, or people listen to them and they think they're God and everything else, and they're stolen from me and they see themselves bigger than us. We had this now in one of the European countries, which is going for, even they went as far as forging my signature and saying Mr. Keshe has stolen our technology. No, it's mine. He just come around 10 years ago. We've been here 30 years. So understand that when you set up association, it doesn't get hauled by one person to become a chairman and then he dictates. Make the association that your chairman has got his hand tied up behind his back by the law. That all members need to have a say in it. You saw it in the Keshe Foundation 2 weeks ago. We invited all those who are signed to be members to come in to change the charter. And the charter has to be applied. A lot of people, the minute they get yes sir and I'm the head, then they start making rules and stealing and all sorts of things. This you have to set up in a structure that doesn't happen in your association. Because the association carries the name of the Keshe Foundation, then you put the country at the end of it, it's our name that is on it, all of us. And you have to follow the rules very closely, because once one of you gets it wrong and do something wrong in it, then I get involved in it because it's my name on it. And deceiving and deception doesn't work if you pay back 100 times what. We've seen that with knowledge seekers. Those people who you thought you loved, they betrayed the foundation, they stole from the foundation, and now they live it. God, I don't even wish it for my dog and my enemy. You see, so you don't see some of the knowledge seekers anymore. They stole from the foundation. They used the Keshe Foundation finances for drug trafficking and all sorts of devious things. And you go and see how they live. I don't wish their life for my dog. You got to set up a system so secure that nobody is allowed to do wrong with it, that they get punished for it or whatever you call it, to balance them out. When you set up associations, the way it's done with Austria, follow the rules to the point that nobody becomes the head of association, they forget who they are. We offer a job to some of the knowledge seekers just because through Mr. Keshe they become teaching and very influential. No, if I come, I can't do, I don't exist anymore. See what happened to your works. We give, we take. But when we take, you pay for it heavy because you take from all of us. We made you, you didn't become who you are. So be very careful how you set up your association. Be very careful you don't damage other association. And be very careful you don't make some people who are power hungry and whatever to become the chairman, and then I'm the chairman of the Keshe Foundation and do what I like. Kick them out. Make that system in. I sit as the chairman of the Keshe Foundation in Holland as the top, and the chairman of the association in Austria with no power. If you were in an annual meeting last time, I even moved out by law out of the meeting that I cannot go to influence. Make a law that none of your leaders of association have any power to do a good with. You have to sign, when you become a member of association, you set up your association, you have to come and sign with Austrian association, that you connect yourself with the rest, because the rest will sign into the Austrian association. The Austrian association is connected to the Keshe Foundation, so it locks everything in one place. We can provide you the charter of the Association of the Keshe Foundation is on the website, or the rest of you can ask. We can provide you how to do it. But go again to that Keshe Foundation 80 and ask for it there, and you get your responses. But don't play with us, don't waste our time. But you have to have a secure structure. People who don't do ego trips, and people just because they made a case and they spoke to Mr. Keshe or somebody in the Keshe Foundation, now they own everything, and they're very important. And we support, but when we pull out, it's the same. We'll start announcing names and groups who have deviated from the work of the foundation, but they use the name of the foundation. We don't let them register with the KF. If anybody works with you or sells goods of the Keshe Foundation, have you registered with the Keshe Foundation Association? If their application is refused, you know it's not worth working with them. And we refuse application. We have refused number of people to become members of the association. It's not something we are going to do. We already have that. You carry Israeli passport, you're denied. You carry a Belgian passport, you're denied. You are a member of the armed forces, you're denied. Job description becomes part of the application. If you carry an American passport, but you carry a second passport from any of the two states, you will see what happened when you lie to us. Don't come near unless you change your weight. We have returned a number of people who have these connections, and we get to know. When you do, you cannot play the game. When you do, you cannot go into the cash coin, because your cash coin and our system has to match. And very soon we match them. Any other question?
Okay, from Theodora, who says in our Q&A, imagination accompanies joy and enthusiasm. Does it play a key role in the cosmos? Does it act as a guide? How much does imagination matter in transmutation?
In a way, none, and in a way, a lot. As long as you don't imagine or fool yourself or face the reality of the condition, it's very good. When you start fooling yourself with imagination, then you have a problem. Any other question?
Okay, thank you. See, from Daniela, who says, good morning, Mr. Keshe. You have now reached the point where sound plays an important role in transmutation. Does that mean that if we are able to perceive the sound of our own soul, that we can use that sound to detach ourselves more effectively from matter?
You got it wrong way. Everything collectively the right way creates the condition. Sound is part of it. Transfer of energy is another part of it. Understanding the work of magnetic field is part of it. The emotion is another part of it. But sound is nothing to do with transmutation. It's to understand what it does in your dimension of physical. I do silly things sometimes, but it's nice. I was with some friends at midnight on my birthday, and I started making a noise. I was calling and making noise. I said, "What's going on?" I said, "I'm just trying to go into the, go through the birth tunnel of 68, and it's painful. It's like going to the birth tunnel. You just say it's 12 o'clock is your birthday. I was trying to go through the gate of 68, and it made you think that how life, we just call it a name, but does our soul knows it's got an age? Or is it our physicality because the minute about porn? I was saying I'm trying to go through the birth tunnel of 68. It's very hard. I can't get through. It's just how you perceive life. And sound is part of the structure. Now that you said the sound is way too, we never said that. We showed you there's a process of sound in the evolution of the man's life. You haven't heard deep enough to understand sounds and which sounds and how. Then maybe you will come close to transmutation.
Are there certain sounds that could be associated with transmutation?
Not really, unless when actually your soul moves. And that sounds, I call it the change of address. Physical address is where the owls can hear it. It's a reality, and science has proven. We see the energy transfer, energy released from the body. Energy released to be able to get your soul moved from the point of its existence in the central brain of the man. Body releases energy equal to 18 Hiroshima bomb. It's been measured. Then you can see how much energy is holding your soul inside. Energy of 18 Hiroshima bomb. In magnetic plasmatic fields is released at the time of separation of the soul and the physicality. It's a reality. It's not just something we say. Now they have even filmed the departure of the energy of the soul from the body. Go on the internet, you find it. Don't look for the fake ones, but if you look into some researchers, you see it. There's a number of signs when the body is ready to depart, and then you can set things around to watch it. One is you go blind. One you see the old friends. Somebody says to come with me. Some they call it the death reach. People they have put their hands out. All sorts of things with when you see the body gets ready, the energy balances. Soul has gained enough energy to be different than the attachment of its fields to the field of this planet, and then the body prepares for it. Go into the cycle of death. People who die in well documented what they see. Weeks before, they see a friend come and say, "I'm here to take you." A few days before, they behave differently. They suddenly start eating and looking very good. To say, "Oh, the family, oh, she's recovered. She remembered what she couldn't remember." These are the last energies coming together. The body is sending energy back to be serviced. Then they lose their appetites, and then they start reaching out in beds as they're want to hold someone. There's nobody there. They're just saying hello to the energy they see as a father or mother ready to take them. And then we see departure. And this is with all of us which go through natural death with old age. And people don't want to accept it. They read it the way they like. But these things exist. These things we are part of us. Then you see the energy of the what we call cells weakens, that the soul can detach from it. In a way, the souls of the cells go back to the mothership, which is the soul, to depart. And that separation, tearing apart the soul of the man from the physicality of the man, releases 18 Hiroshima bomb energy. Any other question?
Irmgard asks, what level of government do we need to contact?
Nobody, just your tax office, where you paid your taxes.
But would that be local taxes,
Local,
state taxes, federal
whoever,
taxes, and so on?
Excluding United States, more or less. And it's your central government or your local government. Because if local government come to us and says they want to claim the 100, they have to tell us, they have informed the central government they're accepting this. I'm sure central government wants some of it. You got to realize 10,000 per capita is a huge amount of money. I measured you, or in one of the videos, it says if you're a family with 2 children, if there are 2 teenagers, you're entitled to 100 coins a year, equivalent to 100,000 expenditure across the Keshe Foundation. As the technologies, partnerships, everything else establishes. That's a huge amount of money. And government wants a chunk of it because then they can spend it. And in our system, we don't allow more than a certain percentage. I think around 19-20% is the maximum if the government allows to. Unless you're Swiss. And we have to structure it that way. You go give us your local government. The local governments, they have to say they received on behalf of the central government. We give it to them, it's no problem, as long as the treasury accepts. And when the government comes, they can go on battle with the local government, because local government's already taken the money for that nation given.
Let me see here from Anonymous. Good morning, Mr. Keshe. Can you please expand on the empty box of the universe? It's a very holy tool, but it would be so nice to have some more details about the functioning of it, and further, more it functions as a plasma measurement tool.
Plasma measurement tool to measure the strength of the gases. We developed technology for this, and very soon we come as part of the structure of the products out of China, where you make a gas, we give you a chart, you can measure what's the strength of your gas. That doesn't exist anywhere else, but it's something I have developed years ago, and now it's time for it to release. In measuring structures and other things, we gradually will introduce materials into it. In the next few months, we introduce a new material. We call it cosmic stone, where it will stand centuries of work. Its property is much, much stronger than the present concrete. These are gradually coming out of us, out of the what we call the Keshe Foundation structure. So measuring tools and all these things will be introduced in coming time across the Keshe Foundation. China will release it. And it's for knowledge seekers to follow the way we do things as we expand the research centers in China. I diverted a little bit away from your question. Sorry about that.
Okay. Let's see. Do you want to continue with that, you mean, or no?
Read the question that people understand where I diverted.
Let's see here. The question was, can you please expand on the empty box of the universe? It's a handy tool and could function as a plasma measurement tool.
You mean the one we showed in one of the conferences? That's where I said this empty box of universe. It's a very big story. It's a beautiful story behind that box. And when it was made, we wanted to measure its different height, different positions, different nano coating, and it's a lot of pins if you look at it in the box. There's a big story in how the fields interact from the pins, from the position, from the wall. Part of the wall, you don't see it, but it was pre-nano coated, so we created this, all sorts of things in it. And we developed a system that you pour this into it, and then you see the fields. They're all different. It's a fantastic thing. That's why I said the measurement of the fields will come out. You will see it. And when you create the fields, it's like the skin. It absorbs energy from outside because now you created a black hole of that field, a plasma of that field. It has to find its match. So it's empty looking, but it has a lot of connections of all the nano coated of the plastic, of the connections, of the nano copper things. And that's what it does. We just put a seed in and it absorbs the whole of the energy of the universe in. That box, if you look at it, it's got a yellow top and a green box, which we drilled a lot of parachutes, I call it, into the door. This box, it was a journey from my business time. And I had it in the house and I thought, I'd try it. And we put the pins in different heights and different kind of pins to measure the electricity and everything else. And I showed this one into, what do you call it, the people, to the son of the King of Belgium. And he was shocked. He said, I said, this is an empty box. There's nothing in it, but you measure every pin has different voltages and currents. And I opened it and there was nothing in it. He said, this belongs to us. I said, take a walk. You just look. Nothing belongs to the King of Belgium. And the fluorescence was standing there. And it was like a nod and wink to him to find out what's in there, how it talks, how it creates energy. But they couldn't understand it. And these parachutes are designed in a different way to absorb different energies, like kidney and liver and everything else. And the interaction of the fields of the box itself, which partially nano-coated in different ways, creates a wind, and that wind becomes like a universe. And these pins are like galaxies and satellites in different positions. Just then they create the ants. They feel themselves to it. And when you feel the sparks, you see the motion. Every time you feel it, you see the lines of the fields. There is no technology that you can measure fields of the gases. We have developed it, and soon will be the structure that people can buy it. It's a drop. You drop it even on your gases, and you see the fields of it, and we teach you how to measure the strength with these things. And this box was made for this. As I said, this box is from my previous business life, and it was around the house when I was looking for something. I could use it, and it was used. It's a lunchbox. If you're British, you know what it means. British put their food in this, and they take it for lunch. Usually a sandwich and an apple or an orange next to it. And this box has a logo on it. It belongs to one of the most famous butter production people in England at that time. Anchor Butter is called. And they ordered hundreds of thousands, millions of these, that they thought everybody will buy a butter pack in the box, and they have a lunch pack with it, and it was a failure promotion. And one of my companies bought all these millions of boxes, and it ended up, because nobody wanted it, but you still had a Anchor Butter stamp on it, and on the side of it, it moved from our assets management into one of our companies, which we used to produce baby wipes in St. Helens, Liverpool, near Liverpool. And we produced wetties, what they call bed nappies. And they went in these boxes, which everybody was fantastic. And we sold these millions of boxes right across Europe. And some of these wetties through one of my companies still gets delivered into Germany. It's a very nice brand. We still own the holding as part of the trust. And it says Anchor Butter, and I used to say, look, I have anchored the fields of the universe, and I've buttered them up, and they're all coming in. And it's a beautiful, it's part of the archives of the Keshe Foundation, still somewhere. One day it'll be shown. But it was from my previous business life. We used to have a warehouse full of these stupid boxes, and I always said, okay, we bought it because we bought it. It came with a mug. It had an Anchor Butter, but people liked to drink tea in it. And it was in this box. Then you get a cup and a box together, a mug and a box. We sold the mugs and we were left with the boxes. And one of my officers goes, Keshe, what can we do for promotion for our wetties? What they call the wipes, we call it wet wipes. I said, you know something, we got hundreds of thousands of these boxes, make a promotion out of it. And he went like crazy. Use of the past to the future. And it's the way we position and the way we nano-code it. You knowledge seekers need a lot to learn to start playing with the fields. Maybe before around January, we launched this gas measurement technology. The minute it touches the gas, it shows the power of the gas. And you have a few seconds to see it. You photograph it, it gives you the power of the strength of the gas, and then it dissolves. It's an amazing tool. And I think my plan is to sell a bottle of 200 ml for about €10. And you have to keep it away from children. It's not hazardous, but it's not something you can let children play with it. And we developed it especially for cancers, because a lot of people have problems to see what's the power of my cancer. Why is yellow today, black tomorrow, and God knows green the other day. Every time we just use this structure we develop, and it tells you if the energy is higher or lower up the back. Any other question? Or shall we done our own way? Oh, how are you reading what it says? It says, hello. It says re-encrypting in the game and relog in every time. What is it? Is this normal? That's in the Enlightenment game.
Right, so that would be normal to re-log in each time, and you get points each time that you log in as well.
So we have an answer. Okay, shall we call it a day, or do you have more questions?
There's just one or two more.
Okay, we have time today.
Okay, from Paulo, who asks, could you share your analysis of one of the greatest strategic challenges of our time, counterinsurgency? Many analysts argue that success in counterinsurgency, not only through military means, but also through legitimacy, governance, trust, and the support of local populations, may become one of the defining factors of future geopolitics. In your view, has that future already begun in relation to Iran? Is the United States still capable of cultivating influence within Iranian society, or has that opportunity largely passed? If the current balance of power in the Middle East were to change significantly, would a future of regional coexistence between Iran and Israel be possible, with both acting as stable regional powers rather than existential rivals? More broadly, what would constitute an effective and ethical strategy for achieving long-term stability and peace in the region without violating the principles of a genuine peace agreement? So that's
do we have about 2 or 3 weeks? This is very interesting point. You hear different things than what we see in reality. Let me read you something very, very interesting. Then you see how far you are with what the truth is. As a senior advisor, we look at everything. I'll read you something very, very interesting. This is the damage suffered by the American forces in the past, in the first 30 days of the war. Radar and air defense. 7 command and control centers totally gone. 3 satellite communication systems totally gone. 6 Patriot and defense radar totally gone. 3 air-sea control and surveillance radars all gone. 8 early warning radars gone. 7 air and missile defense gone. 3 FPS radar gone. 2 AN FPS 117 radars gone. If you know what these things are, they cost millions, hundreds of millions each one. 5 long-range radars gone. 2 air defense radars gone. 2 tactical radars units gone. This is just the radar defense. This is confirmed by the world analysis of what people are in this game. Infrastructure and military operation. 6 maintenance center for fighter jets and helicopters gone. 3 support and logistics centers gone. 12 fuel depots gone. 17 depots for ammunition and spare parts and ship for aircrafts gone. 6 missile storage facilities gone. 6 hangars for MQ-9 drones with all fully drones inside them gone. You know, this what MQ-9s are, those huge ones which captured 1 year ago. 1 preparation hangar, F-15 fighter jets in it, gone, with fighter jets actually inside it. Now you know what it is, how many they lost. 1 hangar for drones containing 8 new drones. The latest one is gone. And I can read you again and again. 11 fighter jets. Why I read you these things is much important. 2 command centers gone. In-flight refueling platform and aircraft carriers gone. 1 hangar for P-8 aircrafts gone. 2 HIMARS missiles platform gone. 5 hangars for fighter jets gone. 4 Patriot air defense systems gone. 6 missile launch platform gone. 1 major fuel pumping station for the whole of Middle East totally gone. 2 transmission centers gone. 1 intelligence data center gone. Intelligence data centers carries hundreds of officers. The whole lot gone. And America only says they lost 18. 1 AI center gone. This was backed by Musk. 1 depot of remotely piloted aircrafts, fully trained officers, 300 gone. 1 refueling jetty gone. This is in Bahrain. 4 fighter jet shelters gone with the fighters in it. 6 parking areas of access for ramps, which is needed to repair, gone. And I can read you more. So they tell you America lost 18 lives. I read you a list. 202 targets. This is the first 30 days. Was the hangar for jet planes empty? Missile platforms empty? Fuel pumping stations, nobody there? What are they? They're all dummies sitting there or people there? America has lost over 15,000 active soldiers, which is nothing. If you see the list I read you, and it's confirmed independently, then you see what it means. When you run Patriot air defense radar system, you have minimum 96 people you need for each station. 6 of them have gone. That's 600 soldiers gone. They're active, they're sitting there, they're protecting, they didn't run away. Americans are very brave, they don't leave their post. You, then
Hello, Mr. Kish.
yes. What did you hear?
Just you broke up about 10 seconds ago, something like that.
Yeah, what it is, you have 201 or 2 in the first 30 days target, fully manned officers gone, 15,000 American soldiers dead, plus 35,000 injured. And you only have 18 reported and 600 injured. You don't build a Patriot Center with empty people in. So where does the insurgent come from? The only thing left for America is B-52s, like cowards flying all the way across America, loading them up, and even they are running out of bombs. So when you listen to these things, just be a bit wise. There is not a single airbase left for Americans in around Middle East. And maybe you should know, maybe you shouldn't know. Iran will not touch any more air bases. Iran will not touch Kuwait, Qatar anymore. And the reason the war suddenly stopped on Saturday, the week before, and then they started and stopped again, was the warning which was given to President Trump and Netanyahu. All the Iran missiles will be targeted in one direction in the next time round, and that's why they stop. You can imagine 600 intercontinental, or what we call round-range missiles, will be targeted in one area only, and they know where. And Chinese Foreign Minister spokesman last week said, if America attacks Iran once more, there'll be no state of Israel left. And that's why the war stopped. We don't see insurgency. Yes, they try. But we see a powerful position that will change very soon, and we get some senses back. This war created billions, trillions for Mr. Trump and his family, and brought Iran millions and billions for state of Oman. What was thousands of ships going through free, from now on they pay millions because you get benefited by it. And it brings a huge revenue to do the damages. That's why Iran has put the revenue on the ships going through the Strait of Hormuz to pay for what American destroyed. And these are all American oil tankers going through, so they pay for it. And you see it in the structure. They tried, they paid the Kurds a few days ago, and they lost so many soldiers, Kurds, they just jam-packed and went back. American bases in Iraq is totally empty by 30th of September of this year. They used to have 50,000. If you're a winning nation, you don't pack your bags and escape like a rat. So we wait. The Israelis played their game. They brought the Israeli prostitutes into Iran, put them black clothing on, then they slept them with all the Iranian mullahs and leaders, and they told them where they are, and they killed 163. The rest they don't have. So now we're dealing with the Sepah officers who are faithful to their wives, and they're not mullahs who are with Syria every night. That's how they got killed. Any soldier, any of the Iranian 160 leaders died, it was done by the Israeli prostitutes who could speak Farsi. They came in and they connected themselves with the black clothes. Now they know nobody is there. They thought the telephones and everything. Now we know how it was done. No, a nation can only live by its prostitutes. Is the nation that it dies by its prostitutes. And so I don't see where it comes to your question. There is no superiority. We had no problems between the Arab states. We had no problem with other states. This was done primarily for one man to become rich. All this war was for him to become rich. Signed a $2 trillion contract with who was supposed to be the head of Iran. He signed $2 trillion contract with the Arab nations, $5 billion, but it won't come home. The minute the war stops, everything being reneged. Everything is not correct with all the governments and all the nations, but you cannot put people to bring insurgency and try to change the government. Government has to be changed by its people according to the evolution of itself. And at the same time, you have to understand the government has to be fair, has to be correct, not just We won, we gone, we done what we do. And we have a president who is totally run by the Americans, and he always brought the statements to Pezeshkian, I'm going to resign. If I don't get, he resigned, I think 28 times in the past few months. And this time, he's been told, you resign, we accept, we bring a new president in, somebody who's faithful to our nation. You got to understand, insurgency in Iran came to its leadership, which have American passport in their pocket. Senior advisor, vice president of Iran, now advisor to him, Mr. Zarif, I call him, carries an American passport and he works in the American military. We have a guy running us telling the Americans exactly what's going to be, and he's not there anymore. He only can have influence as long as Mr. Pezeshkian says he's going to resign. We said, okay, you resign, this time we accept. And he has stopped his resignation treat. A president of a nation cannot sleep in two nations. So we don't have insurgency, what you imagine, but we have people who deceived our nation. And you got to understand, we expect uprising in Iran after the war because people want to see the change. And the central government has to accommodate this. 2 years ago, they get the freedom to wear it, to be dressed the way they like. Now, with the sanctions to go, you get the economical freedom. But you have to understand, insurgency, the way you talk about, they tried it. Even a few weeks ago, they tried it. And some 600, 800 American soldiers died because of it. They were set up. They walked into, they thought it's the center for what they call the control of the Straits of Hormuz and base, military base, but they walked into a trap. None walked alive out of the base. That was insurgency. The time they could send 20 CIA agents and start a revolution is gone. Those are a long time ago. If you look at the bombing of America and Iran, it's all the bridges which separates the South oil fields for them to capture. But they found out they bring a bridge down, within 3 days the bridge is back up. We expect uprising, we expect people asking. Now they're tolerating the situation. We accept people asking for change. More food, more materials. The fuel has gone up to bring down. But the biggest failure in American history has happened. They have no more bombs, more or less run out. And they even have to count their fuels. Apparently, we hear from places they're not getting enough fuel to their system. The soldiers are eating bread and water in some ships because the bread is even running out. And I said to one of the American guys, get your guys to fish inside of at least they have some meat. You look at what comes out from the security from the American soldiers. Their food plate is empty. They thought they come, they rob and they run, and they come and they're stuck and they're rubbing themselves off. Iran is a big country and we have beautiful neighbors. And they just made Iran, roughly between Iran and Oman. The north side of the Hormuz Canal will be used to come in. You pay the fee to the Iranian government to go into the Persian Gulf. The south side sits with Oman. And only ships through the south side can go. You have to pay to Oman. Around about 1,000 ships go through this tunnel quite frequently, as long as a week. Now $1 million each gives Iran $1 billion income. Oil tankers. $1 million for $1 million tankers, $1 per barrel. They don't feel anything. But when you put 1,000 tankers a month, that's $1 billion income for the nation to pay for the damages. But Oman has a very small population compared to Iran. So a percentage of what Oman collects again goes to Iran, but Iran is responsible for the whole. This is what the Americans don't like, because now the canal is split in two halves, south and north. Iran controls incoming. You have to pay to go in, and then you go through the south. And this is what Mr. Trump has blown himself up. He thought he can bring it. Now he has to deal with the nation of Oman. And Oman sits in a position that he can push into UAE side of the pipeline, which is in another kingdom of the UAE, the south, what do you call it, east of it. And it's not very good. And the Fujairah, one of the 7 states of UAE, the crown prince and the prince are close friends. We know what's happening. And so we understand there is no insurgency unless they do chemical mass murder or nuclear. But at that point, there is no state of Israel. What are they fighting for? Over 600 supersonic missiles are targeted in one point, according to the informations of what's in the news. So we wait and see who wants to do. They want to invade. They don't have the forces. There's nobody behind them, and many of their soldiers have died. But you never know. The Jewish people have come up with different surprises every time. We have to see what's the next surprise. I said to some of our friends, the next surprise is to drop a lot of Jewish girls with their fancy bathing suits in the middle of Tehran, getting the mullahs busy with some soldiers, that they get uprising. They tried what we call black whale prostitutes into Iran. They got the leaders. Now they need to bring their naked woman. Maybe they do something for them. You got to realize something very big is happening. Ask yourself if you live in Western Europe and in Europe or China, what do you call it, in Japan or the rest. Have you received, or you know anybody who's received a donor heart, a liver, a kidney, and suddenly become available? Ask those people to ask where it came from. Does it belong to the body of a young Palestinian? That's what the Jews are making their money out of. People should ask, I want a part, but I'm not that desperate to take along with the life of a young person for me to receive a part. This is the biggest income at the moment for the Jewish state. Part of the young people, Palestinian, all this bombing is to get bodies to sell spare parts in synagogues in Europe and America. Ask them, I want to see the certificate where the part came from. And then if you accept another life to be taken for you to live. In the past was the honor you gave your parts for another. Now it's become Jewish state work. I'm half Jewish, but I don't sit with the blood on my hand. Then you tell me where the insurgency comes. We expect uprising, we expect people asking for food, shortages to be fulfilled, but America has to release the sanctions it created. It takes USA to be locked up and defeated less than 10 minutes. They don't have any more missiles as such to defend their own nations. All been used up with the promise of Mr. Netanyahu. The most most powerful nation in the world is so vulnerable, belly up, that it takes China just about 2 hours to finish it off if they go for it. And something which a lot of you don't know, 80% of all your AIs in America now uses Chinese. If the Chinese close their AI to the Americans, you lose now most of your internet and all your facilities from Google to Alibaba and the rest of it. Both in China and outside. 80% of all AI facilities used by major American companies are Chinese-based. That's according to American, what do you call it, the statistics.
And 40% of the stock market are heavily invested in the AI functions.
Yeah.
American AI, that is.
Yeah, but the American AI now connects to the Chinese because they can't meet the match the power. It is very strange. We don't expect. Yeah, well, they tried it. They lost 800 soldiers in insurgency, and they lost more. And nowadays we have to wait and see. When they tell you, I don't need, when you look at the pictures of the American bases, it's all black, black, black. Were these dummies, or these are the bases people were working on it? And none of these bases ever built to be defended. They never built a bomb shelter. If you went to England in 1970s, every house from the Second World War, most of them had a bomb shelter, a concrete block. Everybody used to go in. I used to live in houses, I've seen them. And people changed them into playrooms and the storerooms and everything. None of the American bases have. They all thought they're so powerful. They never built any bomb shelters. American soldiers hid in cupboards under the tables. You should see security cameras coming from it. And these buildings were not empty, fully manned. They were fighting. They were loading planes up to go to fight. Gone. It's not that America is depleted of ammunition. It has depleted from experts. Dead or injured, 50,000 total. American and those who supported them. Workers on this, all the people are not American, they were locals. Many, many locals died who worked in these bases. So when they tell you we are short of ammunition, they didn't tell you we are short of experts even to load the ammunition. They're gone. Bases are closed. And they want to do insurgency. They can talk a lot. Bomb far from as far as you can, as high as you can go with the B-52s and trying to say we are winning. You don't even have the bombs. I said to one of our advisors very recently, I said, do you know what we're going to get? We're going to go back to the Second World War with the Americans. He said, what are you talking about? I told him the story of how the British and the Americans got Tehran in the Second World War to be able to help Russia to stand Hitler. The Iranian king at that time would not collaborate with him. He was an ally of Hitler, or he wanted to be in an alliance, but he was underneath. They didn't have bomb. My grandfather used to tell me, do you know how they bombed Tehran? They came in with buckets, oil buckets with a stone in them, they dropped it on our head. They didn't have enough bomb. And I said, we're going back to 1940s again. Americans don't have the bombs. They drop on us pieces of Empire State and pieces of their buildings, and they bring it and they drop it. We're going to go back to hand-to-hand, American having nothing to fight. The truth is not what you see. We see right through what sits there. It's extremely unlikely we see big changes unless America or Israel uses nuclear bomb. And then if that happens, God forbid, there will be no state of Israel. The new policy is no more attacks on Kuwait, Dubai, Bahrain, no more, because we destroyed. Well, you're going to go bomb something you already bombed and it's empty, or we'll go in one place. And what did that stupid Netanyahu said? How many bombs can a state less than New Jersey take? They'll be taking a lot. When you hear they keep on offering peace, they sat, they planned, and they found out they can't do anything. They have no more teeth. Netanyahu went all the way to America to plan what? How many more spare parts of the young children to sell? Very soon, I'll play you a recording of a man in Palestinian camp with an Austrian passport. Tells you what they did to him, to his children and his family. He's one of our advisors. He's one of my senior advisors. Raped, killed 42 members of his family in front of his eye. The only reason he's out, he carries an Austrian passport. They wouldn't touch anyone with a foreign passport. He is writing and is recording his life story for you to hear. One of the most senior advisors to Keshwa Nation. A Palestinian doctor, highly educated. One of the experts in the world in this field. Then you know the truth. Then we see which we have a big problem in Iran with uprising because of the shortage of material, increased prices in fuel, because the fuel in Iran is pennies, and they had to increase it to cover what the expenses comes in and to meet the shortages. The only insurgency will come from our president and his cronies, which are all carrying American passport in their pocket. Any other question?
Let's see, we did have a question here. Trying to find my question list. Oh, Elizabeth asked, what happened with the coming of the Messiah on August 2nd, 2026?
It's not it's not the coming of him. It was supposed to be the end of the war as they destroy Iran, and it didn't happen. We told them what's going to happen to them. They found out. It didn't work out.
Perhaps the coming of the Messiah is the coming of the cash coin.
Messiah has spoken already to them. They know what's going to happen to them. No way. The point is, now they had a target. It was in the holy books that they destroy Iran and the Jews will win by the second. That's written in the Torah. And on the other hand, it says that there will be no state of Israel left. And we told them it's exactly how it's not going to be left, and they changed their mind. Because they don't have the things to do. And now we wait for the last week of October to see how Mr. Trump announces his son-in-law as the Messiah. That's the next step they're waiting for. What's his name? His son-in-law, the Jewish boy. He's supposed to be the Messiah, and the forthcoming with Mr. Trump and his wing is Netanyahu. We're waiting. They're going to announce more or less, if they succeed, that the Messiah comes on 28th in October. Yeah. Mr. Kushner is just cushioning it. This is the position at the moment. The good thing with the way we operated was informing what's going to happen to them, stopped a lot of killing. And that was the whole purpose of it. The beginning of the change of the war was by telling them what's going to happen to them. And that stopped the guns. Every time Netanyahu went to America, he came up with the new plans of doing it. But this time they can't do anything. Even the head of military and main airport in Israel asked the Americans to remove your tankers. We have nothing left if Iran attacks here again. That's why the Americans moved their tankers back into British bases in Cyprus. The Messiah has spoken and has worked. One day I tell you what happened in the past week. And it's recorded. It's not something that is recorded, the time, the place, and you'll match it to what happened exactly. We touch where we know we can bring the change for peace, and we have touched. But let's see, they're still struggling and buckling. Any other question?
We've pretty much covered it here, Mr. Kesh.
Thank you very much for today. Please register yourself and your family. And your family doesn't get the gift. The ones we send emails to will receive the 10-coin gift. And as your community or your, say, I received the lottery every year for the rest of my life for 30,000, and they want to give you a gift for what I received. Please tell them where to send it, but you have to go and register and sign for a will, please, and get your governments, because we have to pay your taxes. And people like Dr. Gatwa in African nations will get benefit by this quite drastically, quite a lot. Africa always has been the bedrock of bringing technology up to where we want. And we'll see how it plays this time.
Mr. Kesh, we had a hand up with Dean. Could you take a question from him before we go?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Dean.
Thank you, Rick. Hello, Mr. Kesh. Good morning, Mr. Kesh.
Hi, how are you, Dean?
Yeah, I'm okay. Thank you, Mr. Kesh.
Are you still okay?
Well, yeah, I'm sort of many of the things you've spoken about today are very, it just resonates so much because in macro and micro and all these other things. Yeah. And I did notice, Mr. Kesh, that you were talking about the administrations and the governments and things. They started using the One Nation strap line for certain things as well. I noticed that in some medias the other day. So
listen to the foundation. You'll be amazed how many people listen, how they bring it out.
I know they do. Yeah, I know they do. Yeah. Mr. Kesh, can I just ask one question? Can you just clarify a little bit, please, about the Kesh coin? Is that name, for instance, going to stay? Is it established as the Kesh coin? It will not. That name.
Yes, Kesh coin. Let them use whatever. Kesh coin stays as it is. It's our foundation coin.
Okay.
You got a cash coin, which is CASH, as a cash in the game. And you have a cash coin, which is KE, we call it the KC coin, which is belongs to the foundation.
Okay.
And all the coins have been mined. So there's nobody can come up with anything which parallels. And secondly, with the network we set up, only we can check it, we can operate it, and a lot of other things which will happen with it.
So any other names, Mr. Kesh, that are brought forward are not to do with the foundation and nothing to do...
No. It's KC. It's not Kesh as C-A-S-H. It's a K-E-S-H-E, and it stands for itself.
Okay.
And it's with our network. You cannot sell it. You cannot copy it, forge it, or come up with something new to do, because it sits... We not only have the game, not only have the coin, we have set up our own network. You understand?
Yeah.
And soon all these have to match before you can do anything. It's just a team of computer people sitting in the background, step by step covering everything. So you have to be signed with the Keshe Foundation Association. You have to be in the game. You have to have the cash coin that you can exchange it. And you only can receive your coins inside the structure. It's then we are talking with the lawyers from different governments how they can implement it, but it's an internal coin. This, if you notice the tapes, we put the videos, we keep on emphasizing it's an internal coin. But now this internal is becoming hemorrhaging to nations and billions of people. So the only things will be left out most probably in the next 5 years will be cats and the dog, which they can't have a birth certificate. I think a lot of robots will be registering themselves. This is part of the structure. It's done. It's something which is done and buried. Nobody can do anything with it. And the coins are given freely. We don't charge for it. And if you want to donate something to the Foundation for Research and Development, at the moment is the situation with the accounts which is set up by the, what do you call it, the Foundation Association in Austria, which is fully transparent.
Mr. Kesh, can I ask a question then? Sorry, I know I should have said just one question, but as always,
you've been with Jalal too many times.
Too many times. So, Mr. Kesh, if you're like myself and many others find themselves in these positions across the planet, you are a national of a, wherever you were born, but you reside somewhere else. How? And I know you said locally that you would collect the taxes locally.
You see, let me say, you got a British passport, but you live in Austria. That's why we asked you, where do you pay taxes? Is the Austrian government you pay taxes to, or the British? That country counts. That's why we put it this way.
What if you don't work, Mr. Kesh? What if you are retired?
You still carry a nationality. You're retired. You still carry. Actually, if you're retired, you get more coins and you have a better life in the long run. It doesn't
and the
matter.
The tax still goes locally?
If you're retired in most of the nations around the world, government pays you something. You have a number that you get paid by. And somebody pays you. So you go to the government, says, you give us that, we know where you are, and then we do the rest of it. The only thing we don't ask you was what's your religion. And that is because I don't think many Jews will be left very soon to be worried about it. So we all have one religion, we believe in God. Not these godless people. And so we thought about putting religion and isolating the Jews. Because I thought I'm half Jew, so I'll be the first one hit, but let it be. It is set up to where you collect your pension, where you pay your taxes, and where are you responsible, or which authority is responsible to pay for your hospital if you become, what do you call it, sick. That's the nation we give the coin to.
Okay, I understand.
And this is what you call, it'll take time, it won't happen. We need to back up a lot of things to register 9 billion over the next 5 years. Needs a lot of collaboration with governments. And we know what is our next step. As I said, many of you received the emails from last week on the list of the, I'm going through the list of the cash foundations and people who have been in communicate with us. They're sitting on the top. So that's why you will also receive your emails first. Then we're going to the ones who used to be and the rest of it. Actually, they receive everybody. And then your nations has to tell us where. And then very, very, what I call trickily, with your government receiving your taxes, we tell them you want 10,000 per year or not. And then step by step.
Mr. Kesh, one thing I've noticed, Mr. Kesh, sorry to interrupt you, is that when you're part of a nation, you're very, you were born there, you accept the culture, if you've grown up with it, you become very strong within that environment. But when you step out of that environment and cross borders, things change and things get very blocked very quickly, and everything
it's the way it's set up that way. It's the way, it's set up that way. We had our people are listening on the line. A couple of our guys had to go to another country to do something last year or so. And one is a foreigner in the country and one is national. And when they cross the border, the guy which is a foreigner in the country says, now we are both foreigners. They went to a third country by crossing the line. So with the cash coin, this foreign business goes away. The biggest problem you'll have is where the aliens register to get coin. That'll be the funny part. And the robots. And we need to identify the robots somehow with the governments, because now they have a birth certificate. And they don't pay any taxes.
Interesting, Mr. Kesh.
Yeah, it's getting very, very interesting. The situation is becoming amazing interesting. There is a talk at the moment in the, what do you call it? In the people who are looking in the next generation, what is to come. And it's mainly targeted for American and European market. A lot of Europeans used to go to Far East to get themselves a wife or a husband to be a wife, if you know what I mean, and brought them back to Europe. Now they're buying wives, robots, and they have to register as a robot wife because she has expenses. And this has become part of our work. Our husband has a wife registered as a robot. Now we're waiting for the first robotic marriages. When they said gay marriages, now we are waiting for these robotic marriages, falling in love with each other, or men falling in love with robots, or women falling in love with robots, whatever you call it. And then how are we going to give coin to a robot?
If it has a soul, Mr. Kesh, you've already said this. You can.
Now you understand the extent of the problem. It is huge. People don't understand the day and night things I have to handle with and see what's the future, what we got to do with. And
so how did you handle this on other planets then, Mr. Kesh?
Don't exist. Money is a thing for the man. Everything is free. And the time is to explore, the time is to enjoy, and the time to add to knowledge.
When will man understand this, Mr. Kesh, really?
You see something, it's very interesting. The only thing the Americans have bombed are Iranian universities, research centers, to make illiterate out of a nation that they can abuse. This is the extent of a nation. You don't destroy universities, you don't destroy research centers, you don't kill the scientists. And that's what the Israelis and Americans done in Iraq. Huge number of bombs has dropped on research centers, universities, schools, killing children.
Mr. Kesh, your chess game is very strong, though, and I think you've trumped the situation.
Israel well trumped, he knows it.
I know.
One day, the knowledge seekers who are in position with the Kesh Foundation will release what happened on the Saturday before and this week again. We are very powerful. When they said they're going to wipe out Iran and this and that, and then you see how he stopped. And when we decided to stop, and he was stopped. We are much more than people think, but we have to let go the way it is. No nation ever been bombed in the children's school to kill, in universities to kill students, destroy research centers which there are students, except in the hands of the Americans and Israelis and Iranians. But now it's got to the bottom line. And the Chinese said there will be no state of Israel. They have to decide. Because when there's no state, America has got nothing to fight for. And you have to understand, no customers for products. You can't sell your goods in your country. And then you have to handle your own people. And now at the moment, they don't have, if China decides to go for America, they said it takes them 2 hours to finish it. And it takes them 2 hours because they have nothing to defend themselves. I said to somebody very soon, the Americans have become Austrian schnitzel. You know what I mean? Huh? It's so thin that the crumb is thicker than the meat in the middle. You live in Austria, you know what I mean? Huh?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, when you make a schnitzel at home, it's got the thickness of at least the chicken's breast. When you get the schnitzel in the Austrian restaurant, it's so thin that you put a microscope to see where it is. The batter has covered it up. And American defense is that thin.
I remember you saying, Mr. Kesh, you said this, that they would do it to themselves. And I know you elevated the souls. And for those knowledge seekers and everybody that's even remotely connected to something, you see it, you're witnessing it right now, and you sense it. You can see the change across the planet. The soul is elevating. You can sense it.
We don't need wars. We don't need killing. We don't need this. And now, somebody said to me, why don't you pay the military people more that they put their arms down? I said, we don't even give them anything. The jealousy of not having the money. If you're a military man, your child, your wife, your house, your father, your mother does not get a single coin. Because you kill. And it's become the habit of your life and in your blood. That can I have a food? I don't have one. Move out of the army, I can't get fed. Very simple. It's not worth to keep men under arms. The father is a soldier, the son becomes a soldier. When we don't encourage the father, the son will not go.
this is a big change for humanity, though, Mr. Kess. Those people that have been involved with this, that is, it's a generational, it's a field strength that they've gathered and they're so proud of. To let that go, it really is.
They
just
have to let go.
They
have to let go. They have no choice. Sorry, I'm going to read you something. We just received this on the messages in the cache chat. QR codes are online. Click in the top bar on your KC or CC account. This is a message from our heads of running the whole thing. QR codes in your registration round. Send us the QR code. I can't sit there and get people typing 200 digits and words and God knows other things to get you in. QR code, put it up. It makes it much easier for us to facilitate us to get you your coins. And those of you who haven't received them, been around Cash Foundation a long time, just wait. It's just going to alphabet. We have to see how it works. Then we give everybody, and they don't have. Now from us, we understood we need a QR code, so it's done. Needs a few other bits, and then we'll be all done. And then we'll be there. The systems are running. Operation is all seen by our central position. The minute knowledge seekers have plugged their ONNs, the ones who have received it, we get a confirmation, yes, we can see it on our map. So you don't need to do anything. Plug and play, but we play, you plug it in. And those who you receive is the same. Make sure it doesn't come off and go back on. And then we wait for a few, couple of months, and then we release 100 more. We will cover 1,000 units by the end of the year. But we have to see our system can take it, where the weaknesses are, where the damages can be done. The whole thing starts when you start exchanging coins across, purchasing with a coin, and we see where the failures are, and the team in the background will try to sort it out as best as possible. Thank you very much for today. And
thank you, Mr. Cash.
Thank you very much. I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I hope everything goes okay with it. Keep me in touch. Keep me informed to see everything. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mr.
very much. Please encourage your people now to register for the cash coin, and please tell us where you pay your taxes, that we can pay your tax people. And they have to sign for it. See you next week, and wish you a beautiful time.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kesh. Thank you. Well, that brings to a close our 654th Knowledge Seekers Workshop here on Thursday, August 6th, 2026. Thank you, everyone, for being here and attending today's program. Our next public teaching workshop will be on the Monday, the 10th. We have the public meeting for testimonials, and that's open to the public. And if anyone has any personal testimonials of the plasma products or plasma technology, that's a great place to share it. It starts at 8 p.m. on Monday the 10th. And again, that's the public meeting for testimonials. It's at the same Zoom channel, same Zoom number. And then on the 11th, we have the One Nation, One Planet, One Race for Justice and World Peace with the members and support members of the Universal Council. That program starts at the 4 p.m. Central European Time, again on the 11th, Tuesday the 11th. All right, I guess that's it for now. We do have, perhaps I can share the wish from the Universal Council. Maybe someone from the Universal Council can say the wish. Dean, maybe you're nominated since you happen to have a hand up and your microphone is open.
Yeah, I will read it, Rick. So we, the Universal Council, invite the Kesh Universal family present on Earth in unifying at the soul level event every day at 9 p.m. CET/CEST. We, the Universal Council, give from our souls and invite all of humanity to elevate the soul of every leader in every nation to work as one soul in one direction to achieve peace. As one nation, one planet, one race. And we are present. Thank you.
Thank you, Dean. And thank you to Lissy, another member of the Universal Council, for work that's done in the background to present these slides and programs for the One Planet program. Okay. All right, so I guess that's it for now. Thank you again, everyone, for attending today's program. And we'll go out in our usual manner, the Flight Enhancement Spaceship Unit, even though it's obsolete, it's still a favorite for our ending of our program. Maybe it is obsolete, time for a new one. In any case, here we are, and here we go. Bye for now.